Good morning. I'm Jenn Haston, and today I'm going to talk to you about why we say we're fine when we're absolutely not. Story time. This weekend, my husband and I took a road trip. Not a long road trip, but a road trip. So it facilitated driving back and forth. After having worked all week, he was pretty tired, and I was pretty tired. And I said, looks like you might be a little tired. Do you want me to take over driving? He said, no, I'm fine. I said, okay. So I let him drive for a little while longer. And then I realized he definitely wasn't fine. And so I pushed and I said, it seems like you might be a little tired. I'm totally fine to drive. He says, no, I'm fine. So about 5 miles later, he pulled over and I took over driving. And as I took the wheel, I started thinking about all the times that we say that we're fine when we're absolutely not. We're absolutely not. Like, there are definitely times when we say fine. And what it means is this definition that my mom came up with. I've heard it in other circles, so it's probably just all over the internet, but fouled up, insecure, neurotic emotion. Now, I don't want to dive too deeply into that, but basically, you're really not fine. But you say that you're fine because you don't want to dig into what's actually going on or how you really feel. So I think that it's super hard to be vulnerable and say, you know what, I'm not fine. And if someone asks you, hey, how are you doing? Or are you tired? Or whatever, like, our instantaneous reaction is to say, no, I'm good. I'm fine. And I want to invite you, as we walk into the rest of this week, to not do that and to actually examine how you're feeling. I will remind you of a couple of weeks ago, the very beginning of January, I wasn't feeling great and I was like, no, I'm good. I can push through. I'm going to work. And I did, even though I felt like absolute death on a cracker. I continued to push through and I continued to work, even though I work for a company who is amazing and totally recommends and in fact encourages that if you're not feeling great, stay home. Do not be at work. Do not work. We don't expect you to do that when you're not feeling well. I won't mention the coworker's name, but I had a coworker just yesterday talking about having gone to the hospital and then, still working, trying to push through. And why do we do that? Like, there's no reason to do it. Like, if you don't feel well, stay home. Oh my gosh. And I think about the fact that I had COVID that whole time. My whole family had COVID and all of us pushed through, masked, of course, and we weren't risking anybody because we didn't know. So we went to take a test and it turns out we had COVID. And like the entire time, none of us felt well, but we kept saying we were fine. Stop saying you're fine when you're absolutely anything but. So that's my message today, and I will hope that you will share it. And the next time someone asks you how you are, don't say you're fine.